we're going to get going. So what I'd like for you folks to do is to turn off your beepers, bells, whistlers, cats, dogs, just limit your distractions. And if you can grab a pen and notebook, I know some of you can't, go ahead and do that because you're going to want to take some notes. And then at the end of this program, I'm going to invite you to the Get It Gone formula. So, there is an alternative motive, but I'm going to give you a lot of stuff in between that you can actually implement and use. It's not a fluff session. And I will invite you into a training. And for those who stick to the end, there's going to be a lot of surprise bonuses. So if you have the time to hang out with me and you're having fun hanging out with me, stick around and you'll get some bonuses to boot. So let's get going. Okay, just to tell you a little bit about me. I was a licensed boat captain. I delivered yachts, and I lived out of a duffel bag for quite some time. And I remember sitting in the Gulf Stream one night at night. It was just so fabulous. And I was looking up and I was thinking about everything that was in my apartment and realizing that none of it really meant anything to me. It really didn't mean much. I think that was maybe the beginning of being a minimalist. After I jumped off the boat and hit shore, I became a travel writer. And ironically, I was living out of a suitcase 40 weeks a year. I was on the road 40 weeks a year traveling, living out of a suitcase. And once again, I realized that nothing really in my life was that of significance, stuff. And so I became even more minimalist. Flash forward, stopped all that, started a publishing agency, started nesting with my husband, ended up with way too much stuff. And then realized that, wow, okay, living small is where it's at. Now, my husband and I had a publishing agency, and at 9/11 on 9/12, we lost tens of thousands of dollars of contracts. And, a lot of people were disarmed and alarmed and just in a heap of hurt because of 9/11. We were one of them. But what it did for me is it gave me time to kind of regroup and figure out what I wanted to do for my life. My husband said, we basically lost our company. And my husband said, hey, we were in Florida. He's a California boy. He's like, hey, if you move to California, he'd been trying to get me to do this forever. I will give you a year off to reinvent yourself, and I'll take a job working for the man, so to speak. So it's the first time since I was 16 that I really had time to think about what I wanted to do. Like, I've been doing all my dreams, but I knew I wasn't really doing what I was supposed to be doing. I kept saying, I wonder what I should do when I grow up. And I had the time and the space and clarity to really dive deep and figure out what I liked and what I loved. And what I figured out was I love change. 13 careers later, right? Figure that out. And that I like systems that support me in the background. So I became a professional organizer, and I started my company 18 years ago on $49 because we were broke. So $49, business cards, door hangers. I went door to door. I hung hangers on doors and started my business. About a year into that, I was really, really blessed to be on the radar for Good Morning America. They approached me and they featured me as a successful woman business startup. Can you imagine? So it was such a huge blessing and such a huge surprise. After that, of course, followed all the national magazines and whatnot. And, it's just a huge blessing. It was a big boon to my business. Now, I'm not saying all this because I'm bragging. I'm saying this because if you're like me, I know that you want to take the advice from an expert, right? So I've been around, been there, done that, seen a bunch of stuff. And I feel very confident in knowing that whatever I'm going to give to you today and talk to you today about is truthism. And it's something that can truly help you. That's the only reason why I'm going into all this back stuff. But that's enough about me. Let's move on. I have noticed that there are 3 massive mistakes after helping clients for this long that they make that sabotage their business and their life. Even if you're not a business owner, it can do the same thing for life. So broken systems is one thing, duplicated systems that are fighting against each other or simply systems that don't work. Also a lack of follow-up. So everybody has great intentions that they're going to follow up and that they're going to intend to connect when they say they're going to connect. They're going to see that. And then the second Oh, I see, Robin. If I'm blocking you, my tech support can reach out to you. You have to move me. You can literally move me to where you want me to be. I don't have to be in the middle of your screen. So if you can't figure it out, reach out. Tech support will help you. They'll private message you and get you squared, because I don't want to be taking up the slides. I'd rather you see the slides, not me. Okay, so lack of follow-up. We say we're going to do something and then we don't do something, and then we look like a schmuck. And I see that as a big saboteur for business and for life, actually. And then the third one is paper deluge. It's the largest productivity vampire is freaking paper piles and papers, going all over. So it's impossible to think clearly if you're surrounded by piles. And I know someone said that they're like a recovering hoarder. It's not dirty, but they just have piles everywhere. This is a huge distractor. And so I'm going to take time to go into all of these kind of mistakes and challenges and how you can go over them. So broken or duplicated systems are such a huge recurring theme. So I think about Sarah. Whenever I think about this, I think of Sarah. She was constantly fighting with her technology, right? She couldn't figure out why her contacts were not everywhere, like not in the same place. They were in her phone. They were in her computer. She had them on an Excel spreadsheet. They weren't synced together. And she couldn't find names and numbers when she needed them without checking in 2 to 3 places. And when she called me, she's like, I am so stressed out. I can't even find a number that I'm going back into past emails, hoping and praying that they left their phone number in their email signature. And so, that's what happens. And that's what I consider, that's a duplicated system that's fighting against each other when your contacts are all over the place, right? They're not in one place. So always make sure that your contacts are in one place and syncing together, okay? So Rebecca's reaching out and saying, if you're seeing me, I don't want you to see me. I want you to see the slides. So look for the view in the upper right corner, and then you can view the slides in different ways. So sorry about that. But anyhow, so hopefully you're not dealing with that kind of thing, because if you're suffering from broken systems or half-baked or multiple systems doing the same thing, you're going to be in a heap of hurt. Sam, it reminds me, Sam was an exhaustive business owner. And when we started working together, he had 2 calendars. Okay, this is another example of a duplicated system. One was hanging on the wall of his office and the other was in his phone. So what happened whenever clients would call to book, if he wasn't in his office, he put it in his phone, but he would forget to put it back onto his wall calendar. So then he's in the office and someone calls he was a flooring guy, someone calls to have a flooring quote. He'd have it in 2 places. Do you see how this could be a mess? So oftentimes he would miss appointments because they weren't in one place. Okay. All your calendar events should probably be in your phone, I'm thinking, because the phone's what we have on us all the time. So get used to using a decent calendar on your phone, and Google Calendar is totally the way to go. So can you see how these things are fighting against each other or duplicating each other can cause a lot of chaos? So type yes if you have multiple to-do lists. Anybody out there have multiple to-do lists? Type yes. Yes, Sharon. Yeah. Yeah, Trish. Okay, here's another one. Do you have a master to-do list for your to-do list? Anybody? Yes. Type yes again. Do you have yeah, okay, Peggy. And yeah. Oh, and good. You don't have one. Yeah. So if you have a to-do list to summarize your to-do list, and there's probably something wrong and something that's not quite working for you, right? And it's a no, then, so that's one thing. But the number one most common thing that I see is there's no set place to keep notes. And this does kind of lead into multiple to-do lists, right? So you have, so you're on the phone, you're taking a note from a client, but then where are you taking that note? Is it in their contact database? It should be in their contact, right? Or it should be in a client folder. But oftentimes we're just scribbling, and then we have pieces of paper laying around and we don't know where our client notes went. That's yet another situation of not having your notes in the right thing. So Raise your hand if you have multiple notes scattered around about one project. Okay, you have one project and you have notes on a pad, in a file, on the computer. Yeah. So this is the thing, Wendy and Allison and all you people out there. I used to do the same thing. There is a better way, and I'm going to tell you how to deal with that in just a minute. That's crazy looking to happen, and it's going to drive you bonkers. And I've been there, done that, and we want to get rid of that whole idea and figure out how to deal with it. Michael Gerber, one of my clients, he wrote the E-Myth. You guys are probably familiar with the E-Myth book. He said business systems are the key to growth. He loves systems. So taking the time to set up systems that work for you instead of against you will save you hours. It takes time to make time, right? Always. That's the thing. It takes time to make time. And Abe, my favorite guy, I love Abe Lincoln. He said 1 hour of preparation saves me 3 hours of perspiration. And think of it. Time is finite. Our time is very limited. Okay. And it pays time to take time to save time. So if you're like Michael Gerber, he says, if you really want to save time, set up systems, and systems are an investment in you. Okay. The systems, you take the time. It's all about you. It's investing in your time, your sanity, and your productivity, and basically your bottom line. So studies of not taking the time to refine your systems show that businesses will lose 20 to 30% of their annual revenue because they're inefficient. Okay. Their current way of operating is just not as fine-tuned. And there could be a gap in your business. If you're not feeling the forward momentum that you want to feel, you deserve, it's probably a lack of business systems that are impacting your growth. But don't beat yourself up, because most people have that issue. In fact, 93%, when they did a survey, 93% of people said that they're too overworked to be able to focus. Okay. So imagine what you could do once you fill in that gap and you have 20% more productivity, just 20%, right? Just a little bit more productivity. Imagine what that would do for you. That'd be huge, 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 huge. Brian Tracy said it this way: getting organized, every minute you plan, spend planning will give you 10 minutes back in execution. I say it this way, that when he says you get 1,000% on your energy, I tell every single one of my clients that you give me an hour, I will give you 10 back. And over the years, it's proved itself over and over and over. For every hour you spend getting organized, you're going to get 10 back in spades or more. Okay. That gives you 1,000% return. Okay. So the next big culprit that I see, I love Abe too. Thank you. The next big culprit is lack of systems, is lack of follow-up. Okay. This is the easiest place to make instant money, is working on a good follow-up system. 9 out of 10 things that you promise that say this, 9 out of 10 people say they're going to do something, and only one is going to actually do it. Like there's a 10%, there's a 90% fail rate on follow-up. So think about this. Maybe someone you just met has an amazing contact. Okay. They tell you, I'm going to introduce you to so-and-so over here. I'm going to introduce Marion to Glenn because there's a really good thing that Glenn can do for you. Marion's like, yeah. Okay. And she says, I'm going to follow up with you. But then Marion gets home and she doesn't write it down, and she forgets that she gets sidetracked, and she forgets who was going to send me to that person that I really want. Was it Glenn or was it Bruce? Who was it that was sending me to this person? And then guess what? It wasn't up to Glenn or Bruce to get to you and tell you who to follow up with. It was up to you to reach out to them so that they could hook you up. Right. But if you're not organized and you don't follow up, it's not going to happen. So what happens at that point? Nothing, zero, nada, zilch, nothing, right? You've lost that complete opportunity. That's just one example of what not following up does. If you follow up and get a 20% increase, if you follow up, you're pipeline and everything will just increase by 20%, absolutely, and probably more. And what that means to you with 20% is more money in the bank, okay? If you were organized and spent just a little bit of time and increase your follow-up by 20%, you'd have 20% more money in your bank. A good follow-up system, an organized database, a good calendaring is the easiest way you can build a business, especially as an entrepreneur, right? You can harness the power of your contact list. You've heard this, your contact list is worth $1 million. It pretty much is. Okay. So if you have contacts scattered all over the place and they're not in one place, you will not be able to follow up and you will not be able to support your agreements that you made. And think about what you look like whenever you said, yeah, Bruce, that's fantastic. Thanks for introducing me to Glenn. I cannot wait. And then crickets. And Bruce land, he doesn't hear, and he's like, I wonder what happened to her. I was going to totally hook her up, right, with this contact who could give her a lot of business. Crickets. Okay. I'll take questions for sure at the end. And I do have an easy to learn organizational to-do program. Absolutely, positively. So remember before COVID, remember when we used to network? Now I started to network a little bit more in person, and I'm actually doing a lot more speaking gigs in person, and networking's back. Yeah. But remember when you go to those meetings and you get a business card and you're like, oh, that person, I got to talk to that person. And you kind of put a star on it. I used to do this. You put a star on the contact, but you couldn't put notes because you didn't have time and you're moving on to the next person. Then you get back from the networking event and you have a stack of business cards. Okay. So my client, Mark, I always think of Mark whenever I'm networking and someone hands me a card. I don't take cards now. I shoot pictures, but that's a whole other thing. So Mark hired me to come in. He was a realtor and he was buying properties in multiple states. And when I met him, he had all these nice little neat stacks of business cards rubber banded on his desk. And I'm like, wow, okay, what are you doing with that? And he goes, well, every stack is a different state. And I'm like, well, that's kind of organized, Mark, but say you want to catch that realtor in Phoenix and they call you, but they don't leave their number and, it's on your regular phone, if we even have one. This was back in the days, and you don't know how are you going to find that guy? And he pulls out Arizona and he's searching, he goes, oh, I should have organized him by city. And I'm like, well, I think you're missing the point here. Like stacks of business cards really don't serve you. They need to be operational in a database that's categorized. You could have said, put them under Arizona and then Phoenix, and then maybe tagged them as realtor, and then you could have found that person, right? So obviously by the time we're done working, he has no more stacks of business cards on his desk. And it worked for him, right? The stacks, they looked great. And he felt like he had done a bunch of really cool stuff by organizing them in that way, but it wasn't really serving him. So if you have random cards scattered around, if you have scribbled notes with numbers around, feel free to try to figure out a way to have a proper contact database, because you meet someone and maybe a week goes by and you're like, where was that person? And then you find their card and there's a star on it and you're like, what was I supposed to do with that person? God, I don't remember. And then you say to yourself, I remember I put a star on it, but I don't remember what I promised I was going to do for them. And then you're so embarrassed, you don't follow up. You feel like a schmuck, right? Because you promised him something, there was a star, but you don't quite know what it was. And then you're too embarrassed to call. This is just one of the things that has to happen. And when you network is don't network if you're not going to take the time to get organized before or after. So raise your hand or say yes if you've ever found a business card with stars on it and you don't remember. I love that, William. Yeah, schmuck, hashtag schmuck. It's true, but have anybody out there have business cards with stars? I used to do it. Yeah. Okay. So maybe someone truly influential gave you permission to do something and now you don't know what you're going to do. Raise your hand if you have rubber bands stacks of business cards. Yeah, you do. Yeah. 5 people said yes. Okay. if this happens, there's no organization. You could think that this rubber band is going to be your end all to get you organized, but it's not. So let's say you did follow through. Okay. So you found that number, you followed through, you called the person, you did what you were supposed to do, but it took you like 2 hours to find that contact. So if this happens all the time, okay, so you got the client. And now you're working on the client, but something else happens. And now you're going through again. You don't really have time to serve the client. You don't have any time to develop the relationship because you're in reaction mode, trying to move on to getting your next client who you can't find because they're on some loose piece of paper somewhere. So are you getting this? How there's a snowball effect that happens with being disorganized. And I'm not even talking about, this is just a few, but the number one productivity vampire in the world is paper. Paper is the number one thing that affects every single aspect of your life. If you think about it, we were talking already about paper in the form of business cards, paper in the form of to-do lists, paper in the form of client notes, right? You love papers. I love papers too. Actually, as a writer, I'm very tactile learner. So paper is good, but paper can also be bad if it's not tamed. And once you understand the potential to wreak havoc, you'll realize that it's number one most insidious thing that's actually affecting you every single day in your business. Inside your business, papers are affecting your business. Paper files are the biggest mistake that's robbing you of precious time, precious money in your pocket, and emotional well-being, for sure. Did you know that the average entrepreneur will lose 3 hours a week just trying to find missing documents? 3 hours a week. That's a lot. Now let's do the math. The math is huge. Okay, so say you're losing 3 hours a week and you work 52 weeks a year. Okay, how many hours is that you've wasted? 156 hours. 156 hours is pretty much 4 weeks. So that's 1 month a year that you're missing in wasting time trying to find what I call crap. Sorry, it is, because if it's not organized, you're trying to find stuff and you wasted a month of your year. Now, if you want to get really crazy, how many years have you been in business? Okay, if you've been in business 10 years, put in chat how long you guys have been in business. I'm really curious. So say you've been in business 10 years, you've wasted 10 months of your life. 13 years, you've wasted 13 months. 20 years, you've wasted 20 months of your life just trying to find things through disorganization. Now, that's the average, okay? That's the average statistic that is for sure known, that the average entrepreneur wastes 3 hours a week through disorganization. And that's actually why I'm here. And that's why I have a job. And that's why I'm so intensely talking to you about you got to get organized. Who has 10 months in 10 years of wasted time? Now think about what you could do with that time. If you had 10 weeks a year, right? Or let's say you have 4 weeks a year. Think of what you could do with that month every year. You could have more sales. You could have more vacation time. You could be saving money toward retirement. So instead of wasting that 10 years, what if you had kids? You could spend 4 weeks a year on vacation with your kiddos. What if you'd rather take a vacation, or whether you'd rather just be more productive and work less years and save for retirement? Think about what that's doing to yourself. Honestly, really, there's so much that you can capture just through being organized. Now, being organized, also being disorganized, also has a snowball effect, not just on time or money. There's other things that happen. Maybe you'll have late fees because you lost a bill. Maybe you'll have policy cancellations. Maybe you're not on top of your subscriptions and you have a bazillion subscriptions that you don't even know that you're paying for. Maybe you're not on top of the bills because they're buried in a pile. Or you've scribbled someone's name on a Post-it note, or you forgot to put an important date in your calendar. You've missed dates, right? You missed your doctor's appointment and they charge you $50 for no-show because it wasn't on the calendar that you were looking at the time. So missed deadlines, late taxes, penalties, all of this is created by piles. Like piles are the culprit. And I know this because I see it all too often. And it's not because you're not smart. All of you guys are very super smart. That's why you're here. That's why you're here saying, yes, I want to learn more. I want to know how to do this. And you're very super smart in what you do. I would guarantee that you're an expert in your field. In whatever you're doing, you're an expert in that field. But that does not make you an expert in organization or flow. There's so many more unseen symptoms. I mean, I could spend like 50 hours on this. You know, when stagnant energy happens in the form of piles, piles are symbol of things left undone, right? When you look at a pile, or even when you don't look at it, it's silently screaming at you. You're feeling zapped energetically because it's screaming at you of a reminder of things that are not done. A pile means something you haven't done. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a pile. And guess what? Piles are like bunny rabbits. They will magically manifest into bigger and bigger piles without you even have to do anything about it. Now, when you're looking at piles, it's normal to feel out of control because they are out. They're really hard to control, actually. I'm just telling you, piles are always end up having babies. And they're like bunny rabbits. They literally will multiply right in front of you. And when they multiply too far, okay, I know you know this, they multiply too far and you stuff them in the closet. You grab them, stick it in a bag, stick them in the closet. And then guess what happens with that? They create even more bunnies, a whole new species of bunnies. Dust bunnies. Yeah, I see it because I get into those closets and I see those bags of papers and I'm like, where did this bag of paper come from? They're like, well, I had a dinner party last week and I did not want them to see all my piles. So I threw them in a bag and I threw them in a closet and now there they are. And guess what? They don't know what's in the bag, right? So I'm like, well, what is in that bag? And they're like, well, I'm not really sure. So then we have to go and do an operational surgery, dump out the bag, figure out what it is. So yeah. So listen. I know that I've seen it. I've been there. The ones in the closet create dust bunnies and create more chaos. And the most important thing, they're the great distractor. They're so distracting. When you have a pile laying around, it's distracting. Take, for instance, let's do this little exercise, okay? So you're being distracted. How many times just now, okay, have you been distracted by something on your desk that has nothing to do with this session? I bet you it's happened because when I've been talking about piles and things laying around, you're looking around and you're like, and then you're finding that and you're going, oh, I was supposed to do that. And you've been distracted. I can tell you've been distracted. And here's a super simple, another common scenario. Okay. You notice a random sticky note reminder about something you forgot that triggered you into a thought somewhere else. And so you're on the phone, okay? Then you're not even present to the person that you're talking to, okay? So that random piece of paper is literally takes your time and attention away without you even realizing it, right? Yeah, so random piece of paper will make your brain go ADD. And guess what? I claim ADD. I am a bit ADD. And maybe some of you are as well, because if you're creative, artistic people and entrepreneurs, you've got a little bit of that going on with you. So you really want to guard your space like it's your life, because actually it is. Okay. So we have a little bit of ADD. And, you know, piles, things that are not filed, random objects will feed into our ADD. And will make it even worse. And we're constantly seeing that things are left undone, right? Which triggers you into new thoughts about not being able to do anything with the current project, which then you start beating yourself up and da, 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 da. So raise your hand if you have ever been distracted during right now, this session, by something that was sitting in your area. Yeah. Come on. I know after working with thousands of clients, I know this happens, but don't feel bad because you're not alone. And there is a simple and effective formula. I'm all about systems, and creating a system to control your distractions makes it much easier to catch yourself and handle things the right way right away. Okay. Making a working system is a habit to help you move past procrastination, and creating new habits is a process. Okay. So my client, Michelle, I think about her because she complained, I know I should be able to do it, but I don't do it. And then I beat myself up, and then I'm feeling a defeat. I'm really being held back because I just feel like things are not happening. I'm just not doing it right. I want to do things right away, the right way, but I don't know what the right way is. And no one ever taught me how to deal with all these papers, right? It's a common scenario. Guess what? The mail, we are deluded by papers. Okay. The mail guy, this guy right here, he's here 6 days a week. Now, this is paper entering your life without even asking for it half the time. That's not counting when you go to a networking event, or when you print papers on your own, or someone hands you a piece of paper. That's just the mail guy. So a lot of us end up like this, okay? Because if you're suffering from paper overwhelm, I'm sure you have other bottleneck spaces in your life. And these piles are representative of things that are too overwhelming and too hard to handle, because guess what? You don't know how to deal with it. And once you know how to handle the place, and I'll get to that in just a little set, you won't shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. You won't feel overwhelmed, because even with a stack like this, I have people who say they're professional pilers. Well, so if they are, but then they get distracted and they're on their phone and some other pile goes someplace else, it's shuffled and shuffled, and then, things get out of control. So when you learn how to create order in your workspace and eliminate these piles, it helps also the monetary flow of your business. Because after helping thousands of clients for the last 18 years, I know confidently that I can speak this confidently. I know what's going on here. If you're a professional piler, you might think your piles are fine and you know where everything is, but there's more to it than this. If you can relate, and if you spend a lot of creative energy constantly trying to remember where everything is, and this has become your new normal, here's the whole thing. Your new normal is okay with you wasting 3 hours a week being distracted. That's the new normal. Okay. You've already said, okay, maybe you didn't know until this time that you're wasting 3 hours a week, but I guarantee you are, or more, because guess what? Most of you on this call are overachievers. That's why you're here. So since you're an overachiever, you might be wasting a little bit more than 3 hours a week. A pile represents one of three things. You're either procrastinating, or you're avoiding it, or you just don't know what to do with it. No matter what, any pile will create a bottleneck in your business. And don't let your resistance to change hold you back from reaching your full potential. All right. You've got to be willing to change and get out of that never-ending loop. And I can help you find a better way than that. Okay. So there's a lot of things that happen by indecision and avoidance and procrastination. Take, for instance, one large challenge could be that you file tax extensions every year. Now, I could almost guarantee that a large percentage of you do file tax extensions every year. I used to do it too. Before I was a pro organizer and I had all these receipts as a travel writer, I did it too because I didn't know what to do with it, right? And so I'd be like, woo, I don't know where my receipts are. And I know I want to get as many write-offs as possible, right? And so I file an extension because I think I'm going to get organized. And then what happened with me is, oh man, I did it so many years. It was like a big, huge, thick cloud was hanging over me for 6 months more. And I knew I had to do it and I didn't want to do it. And a tax extension, Sharon, is whenever so April 16th, I can't remember where you're from, but April 16th is when we're supposed to, 15th, but now it's the 18th, when we're supposed to file our taxes for the year, okay, through Uncle Sam in the US. And oftentimes we'll say, no, I'm going to do an extension. I'm not ready. So we file an extension, then we get to do it in October. Okay. But then what happens is for those 6 months when I used to do it, that was a big cloud hanging over me saying that, Oh man, okay, I have to really get to this. And it's 6 more months of anguish and beating myself up for not being good about it. And if I owed taxes, I then had penalties on the taxes that I didn't pay when came deadline, right? So that's kind of what that happens. So, if you're in that, if that's just one snowball thing that happens with that. But most likely, more than likely, that's just one little thing. I think when I tell this story, I think about my client. I did a talk at a networking group, and she comes up to me afterwards and says, "You're hired. I just paid $40,000 too much to Uncle Sam. I paid $40,000 too much taxes. I figured out after the fact because I was not organized. Help me, help me, help me." Yeah. 40 grand. Can you imagine that? So once we organized her papers, we not only were able to get the $40,000 back, actually, she had paid $50,000 too much in taxes. Well, she did it. Okay. She pays. Oh, why? Okay, Wendy, how does someone overpay their taxes? Because she was attorney. She wanted to be by the book. It's her reputation. She was a lawyer, for goodness sake. And she didn't want to, not be professional. So she just paid what she thought she should pay, realizing then later when she was able to gather receipts that she overpaid 40. And by the time we were together, she actually had overpaid like 52,000. So we got her even more money back. It was a little bit crazy, but this is what happens. Okay. On what happens if you're not organized. I'll share a little story about one of my clients. She used to struggle with paper piles. And this is actually her. She said, "Take my picture." When she reached out to me, her desk was overflowing. Her floor and closets were stuffed. She had no idea where to start or what to do about it. She was a busy working mom. Okay. She was juggling her professional responsibilities with her kids' demands for last minute supplies and for school projects. I mean, I was there one day when the kid comes running in, "Mom, I need a poster board," right? "I need a poster board." She's like, we had just started. She goes, "I don't know where the poster board is." And her cluttered space was causing her to lose at least half a day of productivity every time a kid ran in with this thing, right? So every time she had to leave, it impacted her work negatively. And she was a financial planner. So she wasn't able to get to her clients' financial plans as often as she could because she kept getting stopped by disorganization. So after we organized her paper piles, closets, and workspace, we found duplicates of everything, right? We found massive amounts of poster boards. And the sad thing, I thought, is she had duplicated marketing materials that she had to purchase. She had so many marketing materials that she kept buying because she didn't know where the other ones were. So what I'm trying to tell you here, and I think you're getting it at this point, is clutter seeps into all areas of our life, our home life, our business life. Peter Walsh, my colleague, you probably know him, the organizer for Oprah. He wrote a book, actually, "Does This Clutter Make My Butt Look Fat?" So clutter can even make you be overweight. Yes, it can. I see it. A lot of my super duper disorganized people are a little bit heavy because they've not been able to deal with their stuff. Okay. So if you'd like to feel lighter and more organized and more energized, this will help as well. So I have a paper flow system that helps give you an immediate understanding of what to do with your stuff. Yeah, Sharon, it's internal stuff, emotional baggage. All your external environment will create that emotional baggage, which will then amplify possibly your weight, definitely mental distress, all sorts of stuff. Okay. So if you have an understanding of what to do with every single piece of paper that enters your life, you are golden. And that's exactly why I created the Get It Gone formula. It's a simple way to get clarity, to get more done with less stress, right? And to be on top of your game. It's all about taking control of the information in your life. Once you do that, you're golden. Now, I'm a paper flow expert, okay? What I consider my paper trafficking expertise is having a place for your papers to land when they hit your life. I want a specific place for them to land, not your kitchen counter. I want a place for them to live while you need them, okay? So that you can actually get them when you need them quickly, 30 seconds or less. And then the most important thing, I want to wait for them to leave. That is specifically why I named this the Get It Gone formula, because my most important thing is for you to get those papers gone that you no longer need. That's what you need. And I don't want you to do it by burning your house down. I only put this picture up because one of my clients, we had a lot of fires in California. We still do, but not San Diego, fortunately not for, I don't know, like 8 years or so. We haven't had major fires, but I get thank you notes after every fire from my clients. Well, this particular lady had the first fire. She threw everything in a laundry basket and fled, right? She got to her hotel only to find out she just had magazine articles and newspapers and stuff that really didn't help her do her business while she was evacuated. So when the fires were imminent, the second time around, she calls me and says, we got to get this stuff together. It's fire season. I don't want to be in this situation anymore. So we actually organized all her papers, and I just have to read you this note because I love that. Okay, so she sent me this note card after the second fire. Dear Kathi, when we evacuated for the fire this year, my new filing system saved me much time and stress. I was able to pull all my red permanent files and insurance policies quickly. I had all the important information because my home office and papers were organized. It was good. I grabbed and ran out the door knowing that I had everything that I could possibly want or need. And I was able to operate my business when I was evacuated at the hotel this time around. And I just wanted to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, even though many of my clients say, I just wish my house would burn down, I wouldn't have to deal with this anymore, I'm not wishing this on anyone. And as a matter of fact, there is a much more stressful, easier, less stressful way to get things done. So if you're ready to buy back a month, this is a moment where you get to decide you're going to take the fate of your business into your own hands. Will you continue to feel overwhelmed and struggle with disorganization, or will you take action to change the course of your life and give yourself more time, more freedom, less stress, right? By implementing the Get It Gone formula, you can take back that month every year. You can take it back and experience the ease and flow of being organized in your business. There'll be no more searching for information or feeling unproductive at the end of the day. So if you're ready to say yes and be more productive, efficient, and profitable, it's time to make that critical decision. For those of you who are ready to take back time, get more organized, put more systems in place, and the easiest, simplest way possible, I've created the Get It Gone formula. And I invite you to stay with me because I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I created a program for people just like you. I know your situation. And when I talked about the 3 challenges, you're probably experiencing 1, 2, or maybe all 3. And this program was created for creative, passionate people who want to spend more time helping people instead of looking for things. They want to spend more time sleeping soundly. So many of my clients say, I can't sleep. I stay up all night doing checklists in my head of things that I haven't done. Or if you want to wake up energized, knowing that you're on your game and you're ready to do some fun things and make things happen with more money in your pocket, I created a program that overcomes all those 3 issues in the most organized, step-by-step, easily I'm getting tongue twisted. Woo! Step-by-step, consumable way. Because I'm an organizer. I put together this situation and this course so that you can consume it and make progress and actually do it. One of my clients, I'd like to share with you what she said. One person went through this course. They said this: Kathi did the impossible, took my overstuffed, disorganized file system, right? Yeah. And turned it into a streamlined, workable, user-friendly tool. I love to file my papers away now because I know where they go and I know where I'll be able to find them. What a blessing. I knew what I need to keep and throw away. We actually bought a 50-gallon trash can. Actually, it was 2. And filled it with outdated stuff. Do you know how liberating that is, right? Bottom line is, the more organized you are, the more efficient you are, and that adds up especially to the bottom line. And the investment was well worth it. And you only have to do it once. The thing about the system, you do it once and it serves you forever. That's why I say, you give me an hour, I'll give you 10. Absolutely. And here's something else to think about. When it came to flee from the fires, my clients know what to do, right? So any type of mishap or emergency, you'll be on it and you won't go into a reaction mode. I created this course specifically for you. If you're experiencing not enough time, finances are not flowing, you're always running behind, probably because you're wasting 4 hours a week, 4 weeks out of every year. You know, you need to have to tackle your issues, but you don't have the time. I can tell you this, you don't not have the time. You don't not have the time to get organized. I'd like to have you say, goodbye, overwhelm. I'm no longer going to procrastinate, and I no longer have analysis paralysis, because guess what? My papers are flowing. Yeah, super important. Back to Brian Tracy, every minute you spend planning gives you 1,000% return on energy. So what happens with this? This is a 6-week course. Now we're going to jump into it. It's a simple 6-week course, right? 6 live sessions. And during that time, it's going to be 1 hour a week, same time, same bat channel. Okay. Everything is same day, same time, right now, next week, right? And every module is going to be an easy to implement strategy. It's going to be step-by-step, organized in a very consumable way. I'm going to have live companion handouts. You're going to have a workbook that you can reference. It walks you through each process, and you'll be able to customize your new filing system with your own words. Okay. The way you think about it, you'll be able to customize it. There's going to be a workbook that accompanies each session, and with the exact things to do with your documents. It literally outlines every step of the process, and you're with me. Okay, step by step, every step of the way, paper by paper, piece of paper by piece of paper. I'm with you. I've got you. Okay, because there's 24/7 access to the recording of the presentations. Say you miss a class or you have to go back because you missed part of what I said. You can go back and see what it is and listen to it again. There's also personal accountability and support in between each class, because I will answer all your questions in between classes via Voxer, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So by the end, we're going to put hours back into your bank, hours back into your life, money back into your bank and your pocket. When I give you my 5-step strategy, it will work for you forever. So hopefully this is making sense. This is, oh, and by the way, we celebrate the whole entire time. We celebrate. I give out Amazon gift cards for people who are taking the best action and the fastest action takers, and people who are paying attention. I just give away Amazon gift cards all throughout. And we celebrate. And we talk about celebration and how can we feel better about what we're doing? Because it's said, handling papers is kind of a drudge, but when you're doing it in a group and when you're amplified with the energy of everybody else, knowing that you're not doing it by yourself, it helps a lot. So week 1, we're going to talk about the fundamentals. We're going to talk about papers in action. Okay. During the first week, we're going to start by addressing the piles of papers that are on your desk right now that require attention right now. And we'll discuss how to create an effective action plan. And by the end of week 1, you're going to know how to develop a simple and efficient filing system that works for you to access any of those action papers you need very quickly. Okay. And by the end of the week, you'll have a clear understanding of how to tackle your piles and stacks of papers, and you'll feel more in control. So it's like the basics. Okay. Week 2, we're going to organize your taxes. Yeah, we're going to get all those receipts together. And even if you don't use QuickBooks or Quicken, it doesn't matter. There is a really easy way to maintain and get ready for the tax man without having to use a computer program. Through this system's going to save you hours and hours of getting ready for taxes every year and prepping for taxes. And guess what? You're going to have it for the rest of your life. So every year from here on out, you're going to have it to work with. So if you're behind filing taxes, a couple people in the last class, they were like 2 years in the rears. They can go ahead and during this class, get the other ones up to date too. And I work with them in between each session to try to, separate the years and get ready for filing their back taxes. So this system is so simple that everyone can prep for taxes with less stress. Week 3, we're going to talk about how to simplify and file your remaining papers. Okay, there's going to be 3 more categories that aren't taxes or action, and we're going to talk about that and figure out how to put those into piles. And then most importantly, we're going to show you how to rotate the files and the papers out of the system when you no longer need them. And we want to discard the papers that you no longer need. What happens with this system, 80% of your papers are going to leave. They're going to fly out the window. Once you realize what you need to keep and where you need to keep it and how to store it and everything, you're going to realize 80% don't even mean anything, which is super duper cool. You're going to love going out to the trash bin or the recycle bin or shredding. Shredding actually becomes a pretty joyous thing when you know you no longer have to keep it. Week 4, we're going to actually design your file system and figure out the best position and location to keep your files tidy for life. Everybody has a different setup in their home office. And at the beginning, I ask you to share your office design and layout. And I help each one of you individually figuring out where your filing landscape should be and the best strategy to use, okay, for your available space at hand. Some people are working out the corner of their dining room. Some people have a whole office. Really doesn't matter. I'm going to work with each one of you to figure out where your papers should land and live while you need them. And we'll determine what works best for you. Basically, this is a really personalized hands-on session, week 4. Week 5, I'm going to show you how to maintain the system in less than 5 minutes a day. And you're going to practice. It takes 4 to 5 weeks to change your habits. And that's why I'm in a 6-week class here, because I know with 6 weeks, I can change your wily ways. If you stick with me and you actually are working the program, you'll be transformative. That's all I have to say. But we're going to practice. Okay. So we're going to complete and tweak the system and refine your system and use your preferred words. And, we're going to reinforce those habits. And this is the week all about finding the rhythm that works for you, right? And how to make it part of your daily routine, because we're all a little bit different and we all have different daily routines, but this is the week to find your rhythm. You'll learn how to maintain your system in less than 5 minutes of effort every day, right? It's what I call that zero space, where everything has a place with a yard around it. You're going to be able to get back to that zero place very quickly and maintain the system in less than 5 minutes a day, right? It's not going to take a long. And by the end of the week, you'll have perfected your system and you'll have made any necessary tweaks, right? To ensure that it's perfectly set up for you, the way you think, the way you act, the words you think of, so on and so forth. Okay, week 6, we're going to implement the simple system. We're going to eliminate any reading piles, piles and files. That's why I said, turn your piles into files and your papers into profits. We're ditching the papers that mean nothing, have nothing to do with your bottom line. You're going to actually start practicing rotating your action file system so that you can get a grip on it and know what you're doing. And you're going to create new habits and finish up getting your taxes ready. If you have some back taxes, we'll go ahead and do that. So basically week 6 is just a wrap up to make sure that everything in your life has a place to live and or it's gone, right? That's how that's going to work. So as a wrap, week 1, week 2, week 3, you can read through it. Now, this is the thing, guys. My calendar is almost completely booked up with in-person clients, but I'm committed to helping every entrepreneur get better at what they're doing and make more money. And that's exactly why I'm doing this workshop as a group, okay? I can talk to more people and help more people because I'm quite honestly booked. And that's why this course is 6 weeks, because I know it takes that long to change your wily ways. And it create new habits that stick, right? Because my idea, as I'm a board certified professional organizer, I forgot to say that, but part of the code of ethics of being board certified is that I have to give you transferable skills. I have to give you skills that stick. Otherwise, it's fluff, and I've actually violated my code of ethics that I took when I became board certified 14 years ago. So the transference of skills is huge for me. And that's why as a group, we're doing it in 6 weeks, so that you can have that thing. Now, here's the truth. You can't scale your business without effective systems. You just can't do it. And if you were to hire me one-on-one, which you can, I have like spaces for 3 more in-person clients, but it would cost about 10 to 15 grand to actually do what I'm doing in this course and cover everything that's in this. And, if you wanted me to completely revamp and redo your office, it'd probably be 15 to 20 grand. But everything I do in this scenario is covered in the course. So I'm doing me to masses. I can help each and every one of you still individually, but in a workshop with a lot less money. I'll walk you step by step through the same process that I do with my in-person clients, and so that you can implement them in your office and in your business. And again, if you need extra support, I'm always available 24/7 via Voxer to answer any questions and to provide accountability. So if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, that's great. I have 3 more spots left for individual personalized coaching. If you have the budget and you want to do it one-on-one, that's fine. But for those of you who don't have that kind of budget, that's fine too, because this is where we're at right now, talking about that. Now, if you're worried about getting stuck or feeling lost during the training, any of you, okay, don't be. I'm so committed to your success. That's why I'm offering 24/7 support, okay, through Voxer. Now, Voxer is a phone app, and you literally ask me your questions, and I answer the questions like a walkie-talkie. It's so easy for me to answer questions, even if I'm out to dinner and someone Voxes me during the class, I answer the question because it's just me answering. It's so easy. So Voxer is awesome. This gives you accountability, and it gives you support all the way through. Now, I told you that I'm going to promise you some bonuses. So there's a bunch of stuff that you're going to get on top of this workshop or this training. The first one is I'm going to give you a little white sheet that helps you take control of your time. And if you're tired of feeling overwhelmed with your workload and you're struggling to get balance, okay, in between personal and professional life, this little worksheet's going to help you. And, it's called Take Control of Your Time. And it's designed to help you manage your time effectively so that you can have a better work-life balance. So that's the first bonus. The second bonus is simple office organizing. So if you're looking for practical tips on how to simplify your home office or your workspace and improve your productivity, this report will help you, okay? It talks about multiple organizing tactics for your space, including strategies for keeping your business and personal life kind of separate, like physically. And you'll also learn how to set up a supplies cabinet, as well as mastering the 7 ways to master your schedule. So I'm doing all of this. I'm giving you all these bonuses because I want it to be a very well-rounded thing that you can basically rock your whole business world. And if you're not in business, it doesn't even matter because all of these principles apply to you in your life, right? If you have papers overwhelming your life, it's not going to help you either. And most of us have home offices anyhow, so this report is going to help with that. The third bonus is my book. I'm going to autograph this book. I'm going to mail it to you as soon as you sign up with your Freedom Filer kit, which I'll talk about in a minute. Now, this book I spent 3.5 years writing, and it's 10 chapters of everything that you need to run a home-based business. It's an Amazon bestseller, and I talk about everything: the paper flow system, contact databases, schedule, the whole entire thing. And this autograph book will be shipped to you right away as soon as you sign up, as soon as you join the program. Now, the fourth bonus, I talked about the mailman. I'm going to give you a little white sheet on 5 tips to handle your mail deluge. And it's going to help you figure out how to get off of those stupid mailing lists and how to stop the deluge from coming. The fifth bonus is the Freedom Filer Action System. You're actually going to get your filing system labels delivered to you with my book, sent to you quickly in the mail so that you'll have it and ready to start. And this is a customizable filing system, okay? This filing system we use to build your actual file system. It's color-coded, it's alphabetical, it's really pretty cool. Yeah, I'll talk about email as well. Actually, in the book, there's a whole chapter on email clutter for sure. And as we go throughout the workshop, people always have little kind of adjacent questions, and I actually answer all of that as well. So the Freedom File Label System, you're going to get that in the mailbox, and look how pretty it is. Like when you open your file drawer, it's like, oh, wow, I'm under control. I'm organized. I'm color coded. I'm alphabetical, the whole shebangy. So to wrap it, here's all the different bonuses that you get. You get the time checklist, a simple office organizing report, an autographed copy of my best-selling book, 5 steps to handle your mail and deal with the mailman, and the Freedom Filer Label System. Okay. And all of that adds up to, if you count in the 24/7 accountability from me, 6 hours of training, 6 weeks of group sessions, on-demand session recordings, your handouts, your worksheets, all the bonuses I just said, the value ends up being a little under $7,000, $6,875 to be specific. But you know what? I'm doing this as a group, and I want everybody that wants to participate to be able to do it. So I'm offering this for $12.97. Now, for those of you who are listening right now, I have a $300 elite discount because you've stayed on with me. Okay. We're about an hour into it already. You've been with me, been here, done that. If you want to jump in, you can get it for $9.97 by using the discount code GONE. Okay, so you can scan, you can go to getitgoneformula.com. And if you put in that $300 discount code, you're going to get this whole thing for just $9.97. That's 6 weeks to transform your life for a little under $1,000. Now, if you're sitting on the fence and you're like, I don't know, just can't do it, here's an offer you can't resist. Join me and make a risk-free decision, and let's play together. Because if by the end of the second class you've attended and you still don't feel like it's where you're going to float your boat or do what you want it to do or save you the hours that I promised you later, I'll give you your money back. If you're simply not satisfied, you'll get a full refund. And guess what? You still get to keep the bonus items. So I'm making this completely risk-free. Join me, play, jump in. If you can do it, do it. You will get massive amount of hours later. You're going to get massive amount of money back because you're going to be more profitable. I guarantee you give me an hour, I give you 10. I'd say you're going to easily get the money back of your investment for sure. So I also have a fast action bonus. Okay. I know some of you have been saying yes all along. There's probably already people who have signed up. But for the first 15 people, I'm also giving you a free 30-minute session one-on-one with me, right? And you can take it before the class, after the class, whenever you want it. 30 minutes with me one-on-one is worth $150. So I'm giving you this fast action bonus for those who are ready to take action. You can get 30 minutes with me private, one-on-one, not just group training. And what happens during the 30-minute session is that I'm able to pinpoint your largest productivity block right during that session. And I can show you exactly where you can start right away to jump right in, to take the quickest action, to get to the quickest goal. And with just a few questions in this session, I can assess the state of your office, the state of your mind, and instantly tell you where you should start before, during, or after our class sessions, right? So we'll break it down. And in the next 25 minutes, 5 minutes, I've done it. So you'll be amazed at how fixing just one thing can unlock a whole bunch of other issues at the same time. But hurry, the first 15 people are going to get that bonus. Now, I know a lot of you have been asking about, is it 10 a.m. Pacific? Yes, it is 10 a.m. Pacific, but I've had a lot of people in different time zones over the past year during past workshops that can't make it live, but they can listen to the replay, and the replay is delivered to you that night. So you can still be on track and able to take the class, even if you can't make the class live. Because there's Voxer, you can ask me questions 24/7. Like if you're in Australia, I know you're like, 2 days ahead of me and a bunch of hours, ahead. However that goes, I'm going to be with you, and you can ask me questions right away, and I will answer you right away. And if Voxer is not available, and you can't do it, via Voxer, we will figure out another way. We can Skype, okay? We can ask questions. So I'm here for you. So whatever it's going to take to have you be able to do this, I'm going to do it. The live sessions will be 10 a.m. on every Tuesday for the next 6 weeks. But if you can't make it, you're going to get a recording quickly thereafter. And if you need me, I'm here for you. Okay. So this is an amazing opportunity to catapult your business and your life to the next level. So I encourage you, if you can do it, do it. Now you'll see also that if you use the code GONE, whenever you get into the checkout page, that you don't have to pay it all at once. If you want to do a couple payments, you can do a couple payments. Okay. Now it looks like you have also taken advantage of this and gotten the 15 minutes, or I'm sorry, the 30-minute session. But if you use PayPal, you can do the 6 months, same as cash. It's what I actually do for every class that I join in all my trainings over the years. I've always used the 6 months, same as cash, because why not? So if you use PayPal, you have that. It means you don't have to pay anything for this for 6 months. Or if you want to do a payment plan, I have it set up so that you can think, I think it's 2 payments of $550 or something. And so you can also, split it into payments. But here's the thing, gang, think about your life 6 months from now. Think about what it's going to be like once you have control of your papers, and once you know where everything is in your workspace, and once you can find those contacts, and once you know how to work your action, and once you no longer have random piles cluttering up your brain. Think about what that's going to look like. You're going to have more time. You're going to be more empowered to know what to keep and what to toss. And there'll be no more lingering indecision, because you're going to be empowered to know what to do. And you'll have time to focus on what's most important things in your life, right? The most important things. That's what we want. We want more time. So I'd like you to take action now. And now I can take questions. Okay. So I'm here for you. I apologize. I went a little bit over. I get sometimes wordy and all enthused. If you have to pop off, that's fine. You can ask me questions. Okay. Yes. Here's our first question. Okay. I have ADD diagnosed. And do I have techniques for working with ADD? Yes, I am ADD. Okay. And what I can tell you is the number one thing is you want order in your environment. You want color coded. You want alphabetical. You want systems set up so that you can actually stay focused and not be distracted. So this is exactly set up for ADD people. Yes. Oh, Wendy, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you being here. So yeah, ADD for sure. That's what this is all about. If I didn't have freedom follower in my life, I would be a little bit of a mess myself. I'm just saying, I'm claiming that. Okay. The freedom follower system keeps me on track and focused. So yes, ADD for sure. Anybody else have questions out there? I apologize. I was on a roll and I know you were asking questions all throughout. So, I think that, oh, thanks, Diane. I'm so excited to see you. Yeah. I can't wait to see you next week. Again, if you can't make the live sessions, that's fine. It's not a problem. I know that some of you are up really late right now. For you, it's like midnight. Some it's like 3 a.m. And God, I honor that. I just can't believe you're here at that time. I'm jazzed and I'm humbled and I'm thankful and I'm grateful. I truly am. Wow. It just blows my mind that you're here right now. So here's the thing. I'm here for you. If you decide that you're going to do it and jump in, you don't have to be with me live. I will be with you along the way. I will answer your questions as you have them. I'm here to support you. Yeah. So, okay. So someone said, okay, site has the full amount of 2 times $550. If you go to the PayPal option below and you punch PayPal, okay, when you hit PayPal and PayPal jumps up, you have the option of how you want to pay for it. Like for me, I have like 50 zillion different ways. Do I want to pay with my bank account? Do I want to pay with credit card? Or if you go down and scroll more options, it'll say, do you want to pay for this in 6 months or get on the 6-month plan? Okay, then you choose that. That's once you get into PayPal, it gives you that option. Thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate you too. Yeah. And Barbara, I can't wait to see you. And obviously, you're one of the first 15. I don't even know how many people have joined. I have no idea at this point, but the first 15 are going to get me for a half-hour one-on-one. During the class, you can access me during Voxer, or if you're in a different country and you can't do Voxer, we'll work it out. We will work out Skype. We will work out WhatsApp. Okay. So yeah, here's Rebecca, my lovely Rebecca say, yeah, there you go. Follow her instructions. Are much more succinct. But yeah, I use PayPal 6 months, same as cash for every training that I take, because it just makes sense to me. Oh, thank you, Jean. I really appreciate that. I really, really, really appreciate that. And I hope to see you in the class. And Eileen, I hope to see you in class as well. Is it Aileen or Eileen? I have a girlfriend who's EI. I have another girlfriend who's AI, but she calls herself Aileen. And then sometimes she says it doesn't matter. I call myself Eileen. Really doesn't matter. Either way, I appreciate you being here and I appreciate your time. Absolutely. So here's the code. If you like to scan the code, you can just scan it. Okay. So you can go ahead and scan the code to get it. And so here we are, allocation this quarter left in the kitty. Yeah, so you can actually do PayPal 6 months, same as cash. And it's not going to even be there for way out of this quarter and into the next quarter. So, oh, wow. The most important, Sharon, thank you. Thank you. So there is a finance through PayPal. So I hope you have PayPal. If you don't have PayPal, you can get PayPal, jump into it. We can help you do that 6 months came as cash, but that's going to be, how you can do the 6 months is through PayPal. I would do it, but this class is only 6 weeks long. So it doesn't make sense for me to finance you for like 5 months after the class, but PayPal will absolutely do it. Yeah. And if you have any questions, Sharon, reach out via email. You can go to support@organizedandenergized.com, organizedandenergized.com. Rebecca will put that email in there. If you, go make sure to copy it down. And if you need any help with that, we can help you set up some plans. I also do know of one other financing company, that has financing available that perhaps I could set you, give you the link for them. They're really proactive and very effective, and their rates are really low. So if you need something like that, that's available as well. Everybody's in a different situation. And I know that we're all just sitting on a pile of money. I mean, we're just not, it doesn't happen. But, if somehow you can come up with only $9.97, right? Because you're on this class and you got that coupon code, it's going to rock your world and change your world forever. I know for a fact it will, because this ain't my first rodeo. Been doing it for so long. I know the effects of what it has. And I think that's why I'm just so enthusiastic about the program, because I absolutely, positively know your world will be rocked. You'll make more money. You'll have more time. If there's an emergency, you will be able to evacuate and know what you're doing without, grabbing newspapers and toilet paper rolls. It's just going to change. Exchange rate. Yeah, I know. Everything's ridiculous. Actually, everything's ridiculous. I went to the grocery and couldn't believe that a bag of like frozen fries was like $6.80. I'm like, really? For potatoes? So everything's gone up in price. And that's exactly why I'm giving you the $300 discount, because I can relate. Things are so crazy right now. But if you think about 6 weeks of my time and 6 weeks of, you're going to get the paper flow system, you're going to get your book. I'm going to ship some out here very quickly to all of you people who just signed up. You're going to get this stuff to you, and you're going to be able to do. Here's a good question. How much time commitment in each week? So if you said, Kathi, how much time do I have to spend? And I'm looking at your paper piles, and they're everywhere. We could just take a bulldozer and bulldoze it away, or have a fire and just burn it down. But I guarantee you that if you have all those piles, you're going to know what to do with them. And the amount of time that you spend each week is your personal preference. It is going to take you time in between sessions to do what I want you to do. And really, it depends on how big your paper piles are. You know, do we need to dump truck it and bulldoze it out? Or is it just a little bit of stuff? So, yeah. Oh, Alex, you're so right. The business course is absolutely positively a business deduction. If you are in business and you're taking this, I am a tax write-off. So this $997 can pay for itself. And Alex, thank you for bringing that up. It's totally true. I write off all the trainings that I take. You know, it's 100% write-off because it's training and education, right? So back to your time commitment, it's really up to you how much time you want to spend. I really want you to get it done in 6 weeks. I want you to get it gone and get it done. I want you to have that closure, right? So whatever it takes to get that done is what you're going to want to invest in yourself. And realize it's an investment in yourself. And for like every hour that you spend decluttering, you're going to gain 3 hours later at least. I mean, now that was Abe, Brian Tracy, and Michael Gerber. Everybody's saying it's 1 to 10. I've seen a 1 to 10 for sure. So say you spend 5 hours 1 week dealing with your papers in between the class, you're going to get 50 hours back in productivity later. I know this to be true. I see it happen all the time. Okay. So you can go to getitgoneformula.com and use the code GONE to save yourself $300. So instead of $12.97, it's $9.97. Reach out to us if you have any questions or any other comments. I'll stick on here. I have actually a 12 o'clock client that I have to be on for, but I'm going to stick around for 10 more minutes to answer questions because it's only 11:20. If there's anybody else that wants to know anything else. Okay. Actual question. What's the best CRM that we can use to manage our contacts? I'm a big proponent of Google Suite. I use Google Contacts, Gmail, and Google Calendar for everything. And the reason that I do that is because it's in my phone, it's in my computer, and it's anywhere. If I lose my phone or my computer and I can still get online, I can still have everything that I need to have. I can still find my contacts. I can still find my calendar. I can still, find my email as long as I can log in because it's cloud-based. So the CRM that I use, the contact database that I use is Google Contacts. And all of my contacts are organized and classified by category. That's a really important thing too. When you go to organize your contacts, you want to categorize them. You know, is this someone you met at your networking group? Is this someone that you met at your church? Who is this person? Are they personal? Or are they business? So you have to categorize your contacts as well. But Google Contacts is what I use. That's my preference. Any other questions? Should you merge email for personal and work, or is it better to use personal, one for personal, one for work? Okay. I have every single one of my email addresses merged into one place. I want to not have to sign in, sign out, click here, click there to see my emails. And I want to be able to eliminate them in one fell swoop. So I read personal and business all in one place myself personally. Now, some people can't take that. Some of my clients are like, I can't do it. It's freaking me out. So they can stay on too. But eventually they end up coming around and going in all into one. But it could be cold turkey too much to jump into right away. But it is the more effective thing to have all your emails going into one place from a time management perspective. That way you're only dealing with one inbox and you're only in there once, as opposed to logging in, logging out, being in multiple times into your inbox. Okay. So I definitely merge personal and work emails all into one place. Okay. It makes sense for me. Any other questions out there? I'm here for you. If you need anything, reach out to support at Organized and Energized. If you need to come up with some creative ways to get into this class, I'm here to support you on that. We'll see if we can make it work. And yeah, I think if there's no more questions, I'm going to sign off. Last call for questions from the Peanut Gallery. I don't know how many are still on the call. I have no idea. But yeah, looks like we're good to go. Oh my gosh. I am psyched. I just am very excited that you spent the time. I'm very honored that you spent the time hanging out with me. I know that your time is valuable. An hour of our life is of great value. And I just am honored and humbled that you were here with me through this whole time. For those of you who are still on, I'm excited for those of you who have joined. I know a lot of people have already joined the class. I am just stoked for next week, and I am going to ship out these packages quickly to you. So sign up quickly so that you can get these packages sent to you rapid fire. You'll actually get my book. You'll actually get the Freedom Filer kit, and you'll be able to jump right in even before class starts. So for those of you who sign up a little bit late, if you're listening to this, it's fine. You're still going to get your kit. You're still going to get it zipped out to you. And we will jump right in and start next Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, whatever that means for you. Hopefully it's convenient. And I will see you then. And I think for now, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you, all of your time, all of your energy. And I love each and every one of you, and I'm grateful for all of you. I send blessings to you all. Thank you.